frantic, I think of you, caught up in circles. Confusion is nothing new. Flashback, warm nights, almost left behind. Suitcases of memories. Time after, sometimes you picture me. I'm walking too far ahead.
Oh, okay.
You're calling to me. I can't hear what you have said. And you said, go slow, I fall behind. The second hand unwinds. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. Ooh. After my picture fades and darkness has turned to gray, watching through windows, you're wondering if I'm okay. Secrets stolen from deep inside. The drum
There he is.
out of time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. Oh, someday. Then you said, go slow, I fall behind. The second hand unwind. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. If you're lost, you can look and you will find me. Time after time. If you fall, I will catch you. I will be waiting. Time after time. Time after time. Time after.
Welcome to the Virtual Stab Comedy Theater. It's time for the Suzette Veneti Show. Please welcome to your screen, Suzette Veneti.
Hey everybody, it's 7:08. It's Sunday, June 28th, and welcome to the Suzette Veneti Show. Thank you for tuning in. We have a great show for you. The world is opening up, and people don't know exactly what to do, and some businesses are opening and some aren't open yet, and my computer has decided to go on the don't open list. So I am trying to catch up, but we didn't want to start too much later. So we're just going to go ahead and get right to the first contributor of the show. Bring on one of my favorite people, a great follow. You can catch him on his podcast. In the meantime, you can catch him on a couple other virtual shows, and make sure you catch him when he's around you in person. Peers and Queers, Mean Dave.
Testicles.
Hey, Mean Dave, how are you?
I thought I unmuted. There I am. All right, cool. Hang on, I'm just sending a message. So yeah, keep that. All right, keep that. All right. So, hey.
Hi.
Good to see everybody here. What's been going on here? Normally I'm on in the middle, so I was kind of taking a little. I'm on location. You wouldn't be able to tell if I'm on location because I use the same background every single week here. But I'm in a town called Ukiah. If you've never heard of Ukiah, you've probably gotten gas here if you ever bought weed in Humboldt and drove from the Bay Area to Humboldt to do so. This is one of the several towns that you'll pass through, seemingly just like, they got gas stations and they got a Costco here now. Oh. But and I'm up here visiting my parents because early on I was going to visit them, but I was concerned. It was right at the start of the shelter in place. And I was like, you know what? I really want to make sure that I'm that we're at a more dangerous point to put my parents in danger during this pandemic. So I chose now, when the cases are rising everywhere, to then come and hang out and put my folks in danger. So yeah, and obviously I'm being sarcastic. I love my parents, but really the main reason I'm up here is because 4th of July. Hang on, let me answer this question. 4th of July, keep it. 4th of July is notoriously fraught with all kinds of fireworks, just always fireworks and whatever. I come to Ukiah because this is a place. The North Bay fires of the last few years, they've been like a thing every, from whatever fire. We got like 5 new fire seasons. Like fire season used to just be like in the fall, and now it's like practically year round, even in the rain. It's like, shit will be on fire up here in the North Bay. And the North Bay around in the areas like Santa Rosa area, San Rafael, up to Healdsburg and all that. So Ukiah is about an hour north of Santa Rosa. And my parents moved here in 2017. And since then, there's been 2 times where fire came near where their home was. And so it was just one of those things like, oh, good. Now my parents moved to a place where I get to be neurotic about the fire hazard of where they live. And then the time when it was most dangerous was, I believe, in 2018. There was a point at which fire was literally almost surrounded the town of Ukiah. And this is how much I point out that no one wants to go to come to Ukiah. Nobody comes here. It's a place where people just kind of live, and it's a kind of a small town type of thing. And, it's just like small towns. Meth is a popular sport. But for the most part, it's a pretty nice community. And but nobody wants to come here, and even fire didn't want to come here. Fire literally surrounded the town and was like, we don't want to waste our time there. It's better just to scare the shit out of them and feed off their fear. And so anyways, but the point being is, like, I come up here because this place has literally no fireworks because of the fire hazard. And I don't know what it is. I think it's mainly been the shelter in place, the pandemic. Everybody people have got illegal fireworks since they've been firing them off since May. And I love America. I just don't feel the need to spend money on watching shit blow up in colorful patterns over it. I guess it's one of those things that, like, I liked it when I was a kid, because when you're a kid, you like dumb shit. But I never even wanted to fire firecrackers when I was a kid. I don't like playing with fire. The closest I've ever played with fire, I have one of those Zippo lighters, and I didn't know what kind of fuel you need to refill it back up. And I got some butane that I use for these torch lighters that I get for my cigars. I smoke cigars. And so I was thinking, I wonder if I fill the Zippo up with this butane, if it works that way. It doesn't work that way, because when I lit the Zippo on, the entire thing caught fire. I literally had a ball of fire in my fucking hand. and I had the internet at my disposal. Did I look it up and see like, hey, what do you fill Zippo lighters with? No, I had flammable material in an aerosol can, and I had the Zippo, and I was like, this might work. And, the thing fits in the hole, and, sexual as it sounds. And so I filled it with butane and tried lighting it. And I'm just glad that it didn't burn my hand. It didn't catch fire or anything else. I managed to put it out, but it was just this ball of fucking fire I had right there. And so it's just one of those things where when it comes to like fireworks, I never understood. I like seeing the big shows when it's a controlled, fireworks display or anything like that. But even that, I'm not that big into. The biggest kick I get out of it is loud booms. I oddly enough don't mind being shocked by a loud boom. That's something that I'm not that bothered by. But the thing about it is when I see them, I notice the amount of illegal fireworks in regular neighborhoods. It's just weird. It just sounds like it starts to sound like a war zone, that kind of thing. And I like it better when it's like more concentrated around like the July 4th holiday, but now it's just like random. And so really, that's why I like coming up here to Ukiah. It's quiet on July 4th. And if you ever want to check out Ukiah, you got my recommendation. Like I said, I'm not a meth head. I never tried the meth here, but I'm sure it's good. Good family homemade meth, that kind of thing. But beyond that, that's pretty much how it's going. How's your week before the holiday there, Suzette?
It's okay. I don't like the fireworks either. So I'm everything you're saying sounds really good. Like I'd like to be in a place where there's not constantly crackling in the street and making my dogs upset. But other than that, just trying to keep busy and watch what's happening in the world and see how everything's going.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. When are you coming back?
I'll be back when the fuck will I be back? Monday after. I'll be back Monday. That's the thing with these Zoom shows or what we do with the online stuff. It doesn't even matter where the fuck I am. You know where I'm actually? I'm in Bali. That's where I am. I'm in Bali right now. And then, and I'm on a plane between Bali and I'm going to be in Ireland. I just learned there was an Ireland yesterday. I've never heard of Ireland before, but I hosted an online variety show for the band Mordred. They're a thrash band from the Bay Area. They're notable in that they're the only thrash band that has a DJ, like a scratching DJ. And this was before all the new metal bands like Korn and Limp Bizkit and all that crap came out later. These guys were an actual thrash band that, again, they threw the DJ in there. And they're very innovative in that style because they set the bar. And ever since then, every thrash band has gone out of their way to make sure that they never have a DJ since. But I hosted this variety show that they had yesterday on Twitch. And you can see the replay of it. It's on twitch.tv/bastardson666. So you can watch that. It's a cool variety show. We wrote some sketches and shit like that for them. But they was watched by people all over the world. They got a fan base from people all over the world. And somebody thanked them or said hi from Ireland. And I have never heard of an Ireland. It just sounds like a made-up country. And I thought somebody might have like misspelled Iceland.
Yeah, I mean,
there's an Ireland. I gotta look at a map and Google that shit. I still haven't gotten around to that either, so I'm probably gonna do that after my my little piece here. So
I don't know if you caught my monologue last week, but there was a guy named Jet Croissant, and we were talking about how that sounds like a really made up name. It sounds like somebody was faking everything, and they were like, "My name's Jet Croissant from Ireland." So,
there you go.
Right on.
It's real. Ireland's real.
Well, next week when you come back, please tell us where it is.
I'll have the full bio on Ireland.
Yeah, I'm sure no one's gonna want to Google that, but I want to know where it is, and I'm gonna wait because I want to hear it from you. All right. Thanks, Mean Dave.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
Week. Catch
Bye.
you in the meantime. Awesome.
Catch you in the meantime with Mean Dave. Look it up on YouTube. Find him on Facebook. Find him on Instagram and Twitter, and follow him. And you won't be disappointed. And with that, we're going to go with my interview guest for the day, one of my favorite people, one of my favorite comics. and not in Sacramento. So she's zooming in. Peers and queers, give it up for Punkie Johnson.
Hey,
How are you?
getting these lights together.
Oh, I know. You got to nowadays. You can't just be a performer. You got to be a lighting tech. You got to be a makeup artist. You got to be a camera tech. All that.
I'm at family's house, so I don't know how to work none of this shit.
You're like, it's like two light switches, and neither one of them makes the lights go on. And somebody yells from the bathroom, and they're like, "The water just got cold," and you're like, "Light switches do that?"
Yeah, I'm just hitting everything. Fuck it.
Where are you today?
I'm in New Orleans. The mosquitoes are killing me.
A tip for you and anyone watching: just take some bounce dryer sheets and just rub them on your clothes. I didn't mean to be so sexual there. Just rub them on your clothes and put it in your pocket, and it keeps the mosquitoes away.
Really?
Mm-hmm. No joke.
You know what else though?
What?
I don't know why I never thought of that, because bounce sheets take the mosquito guts off of the car, because I drove down here from Los Angeles. And if you use the bounce sheets, it'll get the dead bugs off the car.
Okay, you taught me something about bounce sheets and mosquitoes just now.
Yeah, I guess it works both ways. They go hand in hand.
It keeps them away when they're alive. It keeps them away when they're dead. Clearly, mosquitoes just don't like soft fabric or fabric softeners.
Obviously.
So what have you been up to during COVID?
Oh, Suzette. I just been like really stressing, and I don't like it. I don't, at first when it first started and I thought it was going to be 2 weeks, I was like, oh, great. I'm going to use this time to kind of just rest and catch up on, a lot of things I need to catch up on. And then it turned into a month, and then 2 months. And now it is just until. So I'm just scared, man. But I've been writing and trying to keep creating content, and I've been having a lot of pitch meetings, and hopefully I'll sell something. Everything is up in the air. This is the first time that my entire life is just in the air.
Oh man, I'm sorry, but if I can say, and I was gonna ask some questions about it later in the interview. While it might seem like you haven't been haven't been out there performing, you've had more projects like drop and air than anyone I know during this time. Like, it's been kind of amazing. So I think you're gonna be okay, whatever happens. I'm pretty sure that one of those pitch meetings, they'd be smart if they took that.
Girl, look, this is really, I think this time for certain, oh Lord, no, don't do that. Hear me?
I can.
Okay, great. I think this time is just like really precious. And it's a lot of bad things happening, but I really, really try my hardest to focus on the good things. Like, at least I'm with my family. I'm not in LA isolated. I'm with my mom. I get to see my nieces and nephews grow up. I get to eat some really good New Orleans food, and I get to be hopeful about what's to come. So, sometimes I got good days and bad days. Some days I wake up with extremely excruciating pain, anxiety, and then other days I wake up and I'm like, you know what? We have a bright future ahead. Don't kick yourself while you're down.
Yeah, that's what a couple weeks ago we had a drag queen. I don't know if you met her when you were here, Apple Adams. I think you might have met her when you did my show, and we talked all about how a lot of people, it's their first time experiencing anxiety, and so it's hard because people that experience it every day, they're like, oh, whatever, this is just what it is. But for everyone else, it's like, whoa, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. And that sucks for everybody to go through that. But you caught my attention when you said you're down there eating New Orleans food. I'm going to probably leave the studio and just drive straight to you and get myself some gumbo tomorrow with you.
Come on, girl.
Because it sounds so good. Oh, my God. Let me ask you this. We had an episode a couple weeks ago where a comic asked me if you could have unsatisfying sex and mind-blowing food the rest of your life, or mind-blowing sex and unsatisfying food the rest of your life, which would you take?
I can't answer that.
I know it's hard. It's hard.
I fuck sex and food are like the top two things in my entire life that I love.
Right?
I love sex and I love food. Ooh, Suzette. Oh my God. I mean, okay. Do I get to have an orgasm? Even having bad sex?
I don't know. I'd have to bring that comic back on, and we'd have to talk about. I think she'd say no, but here's what we decided. We decided that if somebody says sex or food right off the bat, then they've never had good sex, and if they say sex right off the bat, they've never had good food. And the fact that you just can't make a decision means you've had the best of both. Because let me tell you, this comic's roommate, the one who asked, her roommate said, well, I've had mind-blowing food because pizza rolls are really good. So oh my God, I can't even say it without laughing. Because like pizza rolls are not mind-blowing food. And I was sitting right here and I was like, no, gumbo from New Orleans and pizza from Chicago and give me matzo ball soup from a Jewish deli at 2:30 in the morning in Manhattan. Those are mind-blowing foods. Not pizza rolls, not Totino's out of the oven. Like, that is not... I'm a Mount Rushmore of mind-blowing foods.
If I had... I would probably pick great sex. And let me tell you why. Because my fat ass don't need to be eating good food anyway. If I just eat some regular ass, nasty ass, bland ass food, then maybe I could stay lean and disciplined with the way that and my health could be better.
That's ultimately what I decided, because we had, after the show, we talked about it on the show for like a good 20 minutes. And then I went home and we Instagram lived for another 55 minutes. And we came to the consensus that when you have sex, you just need some Cheerios and water to go back and have more sex. Like, you don't want to have like a 5-course meal, right? But that's fine. But if you have like a 5-course meal and it's delicious, the last thing you want to do is have sex right away.
Yeah, I love sex. I love to come.
I mean, who doesn't really, you know? And honestly, it's a good natural combatant to fighting anxiety and depression. So if anyone's watching and, keep watching the rest of this episode, but then you know what to do. Go give yourself a natural antidepressant. Okay, let me get to some questions. So you, like I mentioned, you've had multiple projects come out and air since COVID started, and I don't know what that's like. That has to be crazy. But you had Crank Yankers, and so I've watched it. What's it like to film?
Crank Yankers, it was probably one of the best things that I've ever, let me change that. It was probably one of the easiest things that I've ever done. Because while I was filming Crank Yankers, I was sitting on a couch like this. I was just sitting down with a headset around my head, and my feet was on a couch like this. And and my head was in my hand like this. This is how I filmed Crank Yankers. And you got a row of people on this side of you, and you got a row of people on this side of you, and you got a big old screen in front of you, and they make real calls. See, when I went there first, I thought it was all going to be kind of scripted, but it wasn't scripted. They were calling real people, and it was all in real time. And you just kind of sit there, and if the people ask like questions about the place, like if I call and they ask me a question, like for instance, they asked me a question about the museum. And it was like, well, what part of the museum is it in? That's why you got the people on the side of you, because they start typing up and it pops up so quick on the screen. And you look up and be like, oh, it's going to be in room BH110. so the people can know that you're serious when you call. You know, you're not just making up stuff that's to keep them on the phone. But it was really nice, you know. I really dig the Kimmels.
Oh, I didn't know it was filmed with the Kimmels.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Anchors is the Kimmels, right? Huh, Duke?
What?
Crank Anchors. That's the Kimmels? Kimmels. Am I tripping? Which one of the late night damn talk show hosts is Crank Anchors? I forgot. I think it's John Kimmel.
Jimmy Kimmel?
John and Jimmy, yeah.
Okay. I love
All
prank. I look. That's before I started doing stand-up comedy. That's where I kind of learned how to be funny on the spot, was prank calls. In college, people would just give me a phone and they'd be like, "Can you prank call this person?" And then it became like a party trick. And then someone else would be like, "Oh, prank call my ex. Oh, prank call my ex." And so it was just like, I was just like, "Yeah, give me the." And they were all clamshell phones, because this is like back in like 2002. It was fun. I'm glad you had fun. And I was gonna ask, was it for real? So did you audition, or did they just call you and say like, we've seen your stand up, we want you?
A lot of the opportunities that have been presented to me is because it's always like referred. So, you know, it's kind of, you know how it is. It's kind of like you do one project and the producers and directors say, "Wow, I like the way she worked. So let me call the director of this and tell them if they need somebody like this, then I know a person." So that's what happened. I worked on a show where Selva Silverman produced it, and the guy that ran it recommended me to Kimmel, and Kimmel called and said, "You came recommended from this producer, and we're going to have you on the show."
That's cool. Did you have input into what your puppet looked like, or did they just make it and show it to you?
They make them, because you record verbally,
Mm-hmm.
and then you leave set, and then next time you see it is when it comes out.
Okay, so what'd you think of your puppet?
Oh, I love it. My mom got one of my puppets hanging up. My first one, Shasta.
That's awesome. I want a me puppet. Okay, so another thing that you had come out recently was your appearance on The Ringer with Bill Burr.
Yeah.
What was that like?
That was my last. So I went last on when I did the Bill Burr show, and my last joke was a throw-on joke. Like, I just threw it in there because they gave me 10 minutes instead of 5 because I closed out the show. And I was low-key a little pissed because they used my throw-out joke. They wasn't supposed to use that on Comedy Central. But, you know, we never talked about it, so they didn't know that I didn't want them to use the joke. So it's, you know, it's no shade on them. But it was, I should have been more clear. I didn't like the last joke because it all tied into, like, it turned into this really big gay set. And I don't want to, you know, isolate myself and put myself in just the gay box. I want to be able to talk to all kinds of people, gay, straight, trans, everybody. And I think that, thanks, cousin. I mean, it was a good set. I had a good time, but the other stuff that I was hoping that they put on was the marriage material and the relationship material, things that I know everyone can relate to.
Yeah.
But other than that, I had a fantastic time. I really, really did. And some people didn't like the 1 minute clip. So I went on Bill Burr's page and like cursed like 200 people out.
So then you will respond to internet hate. That's something we've talked on the show with other guests. You'll respond to internet haters?
If I got the time and if I'm drinking, hell yeah, I will.
Yeah, no,
I respond.
Same. Like I will, like, go ahead, come for me. Like, I'll come back.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's fun, you know. I mean, cause it's like, yo, you don't know nothing about me. You don't know my life. Don't come at me with, cause I got time. I got time. Let's go. Come on, motherfucker. Because you work so hard to be in the positions that you're in. And then people just think that they can come and degrade you and disrespect you. And then they think that you won't respond. And I'd be like, I got nothing. Come for you, bitch. I reads them all. What's up, Hope?
I like that. I mean, that makes sense that I like because, like I said at the start, you're one of my favorite people. But that is, if that doesn't speak to my soul and the attitude that like, no, I'm look, you can say what you want, but like I got a voice back, and I'm gonna talk back.
Right.
So another project that you had come out recently that maybe a lot of my guests have seen, and hopefully they should know who you are, but if they don't and you're familiar to them, you were just on Space Force.
Yes.
What was that like?
Space Force was amazing, man. You know, you go through your life and you kind of just see where you're going to be, but you never expect to be where you land. And, you know, I got to see Steve Carell, like, in the flesh, in live, you know, doing what he does. You know, and the set was a tight set. Everything was on time. If they say you had to be there for 5:15 and set started at 6, set started at 5:55. Like, they didn't play no games. Everything was amazing. The food was good. I fucking worked with John Malkovich, Ben Schwartz, Tawny, and Steve Carell. I mean, brother, I mean, it was really great 2 weeks of my life. And in those 2 weeks, I was like, you know what? You know, just kind of just talking to my universe and all of my special forces and God, I'm like, you know what? I could do this for the rest of my life. The only hard part is waking up at 3:00 in the morning to be on set at 5 a.m.
Oh, I wouldn't go to sleep. I would stay awake because that's right in my work time is 3 in the morning. So I would but I get you. If you're a more regular, normal scheduled person, that would be, but it's worth it though. Once you get there, right? I'm sure you wake right up.
Oh man. I mean, look, man, like once I woke up, you know, and the way they was paying, it didn't take me nothing to wake up at 3 in the morning. I'm like, whoop.
So you mentioned you work with Steve Carell and John Malkovich. Like, did you talk to them? Like, did you get like one-on-one time? Yeah.
It was fun because, you know, if you were part of the immediate cast, then you sit with the cast. And every time there was a break, you know, I got to just kind of dig in on John Malkovich. You know, Steve Carell had a lot to learn in his script. Like, you can tell that he is a genius. I mean, like, he is so smart. So I think he was kind of just learning the scripts as we went. And it was a lot of words. So a lot of the times he was kind of isolated, making sure his next scene was in place and correct a lot of the time. But I did have a few conversations with him. And my mom is very Southern, and she's like big time on hospitality. And she's like, look, you know, he provided you this opportunity. Why don't you grab him a gift? So I got him like a New Orleans Saints hat. And I was just like, you know, thank you for the opportunity. And I never thought I would be here in my life. And I appreciate you very much. And like, I hope to see you in the future on other projects, you know. So just with that, I just hope he appreciated my work. I hope I did good. I hope I didn't fail him. And John Malkovich was just full of knowledge and education. And he's a very deep speaker. Like, he wasn't afraid to educate, you know, and talk about his past experiences and the things that he's learned. He wasn't afraid to pass off his knowledge, and it was all amazing. I learned a lot from all of the people on that set.
That's really cool. I would love to see you in another project with them, but also in the same project, because your character could come back, right? I mean, is that something that they talked about?
I think, you know, I had 4, 1, 2, 3. If I'm not mistaken, it was so long ago, I think I had 4 auditions for Space Force. And I ended up not getting the main part. And the casting director called my agent and was like, look, you know, unfortunately, we're gonna pass on Punkie. We're gonna give the part to someone else. But we really like her, so we're gonna find something for her to do. We're gonna write something for her. And they wrote that role for me, which I thought was awesome, because I never trust nobody. I'm like, yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. And they actually did it. I got a call back 2 weeks later, you know, with the script and my role and everything. And I think, you know, look, man, all I could do is stay prayed up and just, you know, hope I did my job and hope they invite me back. You feel me? That's it. But I think my character is an open end. and I think Kiki can come back.
I think so too. And you keep saying you hope you did a good job. I mean, it's not for me to say, but I really enjoy, like, I might be a little bit biased, but I really enjoyed your character. Like, I thought it was a really excellent addition to the core group of characters. And I'm actually, one of my questions was, did you have input into the writing of the character, or did they write the character for you? Because it was you, like, it was you. It was like, it was so cool to see just you get, I mean, Kiki, of course, but like it just fit.
I 100% definitely think they specially wrote that for me. I mean, I think as soon as I got the script and I read it, I'm like, they this for me. You know, I didn't have to pretend. I didn't have to be anybody. They wrote that. I might as well could have been named Punkie Johnson in the script.
Yeah, no, that's my question. Says like the lines feel like you wrote them, because
no, write any of them. But
right.
They did keep it. It wasn't too tight. You know, I was able to mix it in and throw a couple of little ad-libs in there from time to time.
That's fun.
They allowed.
Yeah, I was disappointed when they went up to space and Kiki wasn't with them, but like you said, open end. So
open end, bro. Y'all pray for me out there. Hope I get back on there.
Oh yeah, no. If you're watching the show and you watch Space Force, I don't, you know, let's get a hashtag going. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Kiki to space. Something. So you filmed specials on TV. You did, of course, like we just mentioned, The Ringer with Bill Burr, and then you've done Netflix and Comedy Central, right?
Yeah, I got something coming out on Quibbly. I don't know what month, but it has been announced already. I just don't know when it comes on. But I went to Vegas last year before all of this COVID stuff, and I shot some comedy with Will Smith.
Oh, wow.
So whenever that comes out, you know, I wish I could give you guys the date and all of that, but that hasn't been released yet. But it has been released that it's coming in due time, but we just don't have the schedule for it yet.
Well, I think that's something we've kind of talked about with a couple. I had a Comic-Con a couple weeks ago who filmed a Dry Bar special, and it's like they're slowing everything down because they can't produce as much content as quickly. So the Quibbly thing might have come out already, but now maybe they're holding it because they want to come out with it, you know, when they don't have anything else.
Right. Right.
At least you'll have good, you know, people be at home with nothing to do, and they'll get to watch it, and like captive viewership. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
What's it like? So you've done comedy specials, and then you've done TV shows now. Is there a difference between filming the two?
Between filming both of them?
Yeah, like is there like a comedy oriented special and filming like a comedy series like Space Force? Like, I mean, obviously there's differences in, like, you know, you're on stage, but is your preparation, I guess, is what I'm wondering. Do you prepare differently?
I prep the same for all. I mean, no. I just, you know, I just have to believe that I did the work, and then when they say action, I go. You know, if you do the work, everything just comes out naturally. It's just muscle memory. You know, if you do the studying, if you practice the rhythm, if you practice the beats, you know, if you understand where you are in script, if you memorize the words, if you understand where your marks are, if you do the work, that's it. That's how I prep. I just do the work. That's it.
You practice and then you play how you practice. That's a good lesson for anyone out there watching.
Yes, indeed. Long story short, you play how you practice.
Yes, I always tell people, like, take the open mic seriously. Like, don't joke around, because that's your practice time. That's putting up shots. And when you get in the game, it's going to be just like you practiced. But, so...
I could go on.
Oh, go ahead.
Back up. Oh, all right. I'm sorry. I'm taking up my cousin's whole house. I'm homeless.
Well,
I don't live anywhere. I'm just like in New Orleans, just shacking up with all of my family every night. I'm just homeless.
Well, please tell your cousin thank you for me. Like, it's really nice of her to let us film in her house.
Here right now. Yeah, I'm just like living out of my car, and I'm washing at other people's houses, and I got a garbage bag of clothes, and yeah, this is what it is.
That's that kind of is comedy life sometimes, right? Like sometimes you're on the road, or sometimes you have to give stuff up just to get somewhere, and you take a leap of faith.
Oh yeah, I had to give up my apartment in LA, which is fine. But you know what I'm gonna say? I'm gonna be saving money, and I got a loving family, and I'm just gonna be using every single last one of them, and I'm gonna be in their houses.
Hey, if it has a good bathroom, I'll stay there. If it has a good kitchen, I'll stay there 2 days. I don't blame you.
Yeah,
And
ones that
that's-
got, because they always got all the snacks.
That's the worst part about hotels. I was just talking about that last night. Is like sometimes at like midnight you want a snack and you're in a hotel and it's like no snacks in the room, and you're like, man, there would be snacks at home.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first thing I do when I stay in a hotel, I go out and I'll buy like some popsicles or some ice cream sandwiches and just put them in the fridge if it has one, and that way like I spent $2. If I eat them, then they're there. If I don't, I spent $2.
Oh Lord, don't say popsicle out loud. I've been eating all these churn popsicles up in here.
Oh, girl, it's bomb pop season. Those are the best. I love the bomb pops. Like,
The blue. And I've been messing them up.
So you did JFL, and you do a lot of live comedy, because I don't want anyone to think that you're just a film person. Like, you do live comedy, and you're so good at it. It's got to be excruciating that it's not here right now. Like, I know you're excited. I'm not even going to ask, are you excited for it to come back? But what do you miss the most about it?
The freedom of speech. The getting things off my chest. I think right now, when I do have anxiety, it's because I'm not talking my thoughts out. It's because I'm not expressing myself the way I did with comedy, and comedy was just a way for me to just let it loose. Everything I was feeling, everything I was dealing with, I used to just, and now it's kind of like, everybody going through the same shit. Like, I can't go complain to my cousin about some shit. I mean, I can, and I will, and I know she'll listen, but at the same time, she's dealing with the same shit, I could, we all in the same boat right now. So, I miss it being able to be as expressive as I was.
What's it like in Louisiana? Like, are businesses open? Are they closed? I know it's not Texas or Florida.
It's dead, man.
Is it?
It's dead. I mean, this don't even look like it's Walking Dead out here. It don't even look the same. I mean, typically you got people on the interstate and stuff. Of course, a lot of people still in work. People that work for the state, got federal government jobs and stuff. They still working. Essential workers like healthcare and grocery stores and everything. But the livelihood is dead.
Right. So there's no like open mics or anything that you can even go to. And this is the 11th show we've done, and so we've talked to a lot of comics, and some of them are like, yes, it's Zoom comedy, Instagram comedy, streaming comedy, and some of them are like, no streaming comedy for me. Explain why that's not as good a way for you to get things off your chest.
Well, the only reason why is because when all of this first happened, I did one, and after I did it, I was like, nope, never doing that again. So one bad apple killed it all for me. It was the worst. I was like, no more Zoom.
Yeah, no, I mean, there is for me personally, there's the issue of like timing and just kind of feeling where the crowd's at. Like, if I tell a joke and I go like this far, like, I don't know, if they like that, maybe I can go a little bit further. And if they like that, I can go further. But if I can't tell where they're at, then I don't really feel comfortable, walking that plank, so to speak.
Yeah, I think it was definitely a timing issue. And just like kind of just not really knowing where to put people and how to put them and everything like that. So but And as a matter of fact, I just lied to you. I did another show, comedy show, but I told them I didn't want to do comedy. So they did an interview, and it was because they was donating the funds to, it was called Crazy Woke Asians, and they donated the funds to like Black Lives Matter. So I was like, cause I'm on. And I did that driving to Oklahoma.
Oh, you did it while you were driving?
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, I've seen people do actual sets from the grocery store, because that's kind of where we're at right now. Like, you can do them from anywhere. So
that's what we'll interview anywhere. I can talk to anybody anywhere. I'm just like, I might as well just come home, be with my family, and do everything through the phone.
Yeah. Would you reconsider, like, if this goes on for much longer, would you reconsider trying to do an internet show?
I'm thinking about it right now. I'm back and forth with it every single day. So now I'm thinking about like radio shows and podcasts. I'm trying to create virtual things as we speak.
Yeah. I said no to a couple of streaming comedies, opportunities when it first started, because I was like, I'm not that person. Like, I need the timing. But as we've gone further and further, now I'm like, I really miss it. Okay, I'll do one. I'll try it, because I miss it. And it's that freedom of speech. But then it also, I don't know how you feel about this, but it kind of gets me where it's like, there's a difference between saying something to a room full of people and then saying it where it's going to be potentially recorded and streamed. It doesn't feel as safe. It feels a little bit riskier.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah, I
agree. It's weird. Everybody else did comedy on other shows, and honestly, it was just weird. It was just weird watching it. I was like, oh, this is weird.
Well, I hope things open up and you can get back on stage soon, because I mean, I'm sure you need it, but I think comedy needs you just as bad. I mean, that's my opinion.
Oh, Suzette.
Is there anything you'd like to talk about? Because I got rapid fire questions and we can run through them at the end. But is there anything you'd like to talk about?
No, just like, just everybody out there, just, always keep your head up and, or down. I hate when people try to stay positive all the time. Sometimes you just want to be negative, just sometimes just be negative and just get it out of your system so that you can be positive, And it's all right to not be strong sometimes, just let it loose. You ain't got to be the bigger person all the time either. Sometimes you got to slap the piss out some fucking body, But just, just it's a balance. Just balance it out. And don't let nobody play with you or disrespect you. Stand up for yourself.
I think those are good lessons. You said something and I had a response and I forgot. But, I was going to say, it's okay. Like you said, that's a good lesson for everybody. It's okay to be negative sometimes. You don't have to always be positive. Sometimes you just got to have the afternoon and you got to cry it out, or you got to yell, or you got to throw a sock at the wall. Nothing bigger than a sock, because that's crazy talk. But what I was going to say, I was going to tie it back together. And if you are still feeling negative, go ahead and find some sex, because that'll probably make things a little more positive.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have set. I mean, if you want to have sad sex, that's up to the viewers. But look, endorphins. That's all I'm saying. Go for a jog, have some sex, come feel better. Okay, I'm gonna get with rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Let's go.
Okay, pull it up right here. What is your favorite thing about the existence of brunch?
Who?
Of like brunch, the breakfast, lunch, brunch.
Oh, brunch?
Mm-hmm.
Bottomless mimosas.
Next time you in Sacramento and the world is normal, come get some bottomless mimosas at my brunch.
Let's go, baby.
Okay. When you put on a bra, do you clasp it in front and spin it around, or do you clasp it in back?
I have a gay vest.
Okay.
I put it on like a t-shirt. So I don't really wear bras. That's why my titties hang down low.
Gay vest. Okay.
I eyes, and I got a gay vest.
I like it. If it works for you, then it works.
It worked.
What would your walk-up song be tonight if you were going on stage?
What would my song be?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I like that Roddy Rich, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck the nigga soul. Where the cash out. That's my jam right there, boy. Oh, man. I think I'm digging that song. That's probably be it right there.
Okay, we need to have a show, and we need to play the song, and then you need to come up. Now, okay, so I know you don't wear heels, but I do.
Nope.
So if you're advising me, how high is too high for high heels?
If you can't walk, then don't wear 'em. I think that's what it is. Cause I don't want nobody coming behind me, stumbling and needing help everywhere we go. You can't walk in them. Take them off and bring some flip flops.
Yeah, looking like a constipated giraffe stumbling around. That's like, girl, if you can't walk in them for 6 hours, don't leave the house in them. That's my rule. Okay, what is your favorite show? Do you have a show that you like performing in regularly?
A show to perform in?
Mm-hmm.
I would say one of my favorite shows, of course, is the Comedy Store. But other than the clubs, I would say the Bronson Bar is a show that I like to perform in, and it's woman Tammy Jo. It was very she hooked me up like once a month on her show. I love that show because I love her people. Her people are very kind. They come to laugh. They come to have a good time. And then I like the Bronson Bar because you get to hash out all your jokes. You just kind of just get to get rid of the fat, say whatever you want to say, and kind of just form and structure your new jokes at the Bronson Bar. So I love working on my new shit, and then I like to take it to Tammy Jo show and put it all together.
And the Bronson Bar is in L.A.?
Yeah, everything in LA, yeah.
Okay, and I know the answer to this question, but do you have a favorite venue?
A favorite who?
Venue?
Venue?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, probably the Comedy Store.
Yeah, it's cool.
My favorite.
I think it broke up for a second. What'd you say?
Oh, I said the Comedy Store.
Okay. What is the funniest thing an audience member has ever said to you after a set?
One lady got up and said, "Is this a fucking Trump rally?"
Was that in response to your set?
She was just mad at my political joke.
Oh. Well, I mean, too bad.
She tried to get the leave out with her.
Yeah.
I was just like, ma'am, they're not going anywhere because they love how ghetto I am. So bye, bitch.
Thank you. Yeah. Don't. If anyone's watching, don't test Punkie. Okay. Who is your favorite comic?
Oh man, they got too many to name one. Too many.
You don't have to. Okay. Do you have a favorite sex position?
A favorite who position?
Sex position?
Ooh, they got too many of those that I like too. Ooh.
Okay.
Crap on, or if I don't.
If we're drinking and someone's buying us shots, what are they buying us?
Tequila. Tequila and a Coors Light.
Specific kind of tequila or just any?
That's bottle and a Coors Light.
Okay.
That's in Los Angeles. Now, if we're in New Orleans, I need a shot of Crown Royal and a Heineken.
That sounds a lot better to me. Crown Royal warms me up from the inside. Toilet paper. Do you hang it over or under?
Over. I'm married. My wife don't play that shit.
Do you have a favorite drag queen?
Dry cleaning. Niggas don't take that shit to dry cleaning.
I hate dry cleaning. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite drag queen?
Probably the one and only motherfucking RuPaul.
That's a good answer. And
Rob, Probably
last,
be in and that shit too.
last question. What are you most excited to do when you can go back out in the real world again?
I'm excited to get back to work, bro. I'm trying to get on a microphone and just express myself. Now, I ain't got no comedy. I ain't been doing no comedy. I don't even know what I'm going to say when I touch the mic. But I know when I go there and I grab it, I know I'm going to be home. It don't matter where I do it at, I'm going to be home because that's what I love the most.
You know, usually I end it right there, and that's a great place to end. But I wanted to tell you, and I failed to tell you before, that I was just talking. I was at Punchline last night in Sacramento, and I was just talking to him, and we are talking about that crazy lady that went on stage and just how you handled it. And
Yeah,
none of that makes
It's
any
what-
sense to anyone watching, but you're at home on stage, and I can't wait for you to get back up there.
I can't wait either, Suzette. Me either.
Well, thank you for coming on the show.
Hey, girl,
Mhm.
I appreciate it. And it's always a pleasure talking to you. And I thank you for having me.
Absolutely. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, you got a deal. Have a great rest of the show, okay? And
Thank you,
I'll catch up
Punkie.
with you soon.
All right. I'll text you.
All right, baby.
All right. Bye.
All right.
Love you.
Love you too.
All right, peers and queers, that was Punkie Johnson. When the world is back to normal, if you get a chance to see her live, do it. And in the meantime, you can check out Space Force, Crank Yankers, The Ringer with Bill Burr. She is everywhere right now, and do yourself a favor and find her. And with that, we're going to go with our normal last guest, David Shapiro. David, can you hear me? Are you there?
Yes.
Great. How are you?
Okay. How
Yeah.
are you?
I'm okay. What's going on? Anything new? What are we going to talk about today? David?
Well, Suze, I did my first live set on a stage with live people in the audience yesterday in 3.5 months.
Oh, wow. What was that like?
Oh, it was great. Oh my God, I missed performing for people.
Were there people in the audience?
There were a good number of people there. The size of the crowd was, it was relative to the limits of the club, but it was good. I'd say like 50, 60 people.
Did they seem excited to be there? Were they nervous to be there?
Well, they actually seemed really loose and happy and like glad to be out of the house. Like they wanted to be out of the house.
Okay. So I think something that I'm curious about is what's it like to be in a club right now? Like, are there different like protocols for keeping the guests safe, the comics safe? I was there actually. So there was hand sanitizer. I saw that. Everyone's going to the bathroom and washing their hands. Servers are wearing gloves and masks.
Well, yeah, there were protocols to keep everyone clean and COVID free. Each comic used a different mic. So like the host was using a mic with a yellow sticker on it, and then the comic that would go up would grab the blue mic, the blue stickered mic, and then while he was using the blue stickered mic, he or she, a club employee would come and clean the red stickered mic, and that way the next comic could use the red stickered mic.
Okay. Well, that's
Each mic was sprayed down with Lysol.
Lysol. I bet you like that.
I
didn't
did.
you, germaphobe?
I really, yeah, I
Yeah.
did like it.
Okay. See where my next question is. So you are a germaphobe. You've talked about that before on the show. So it has to be weird for you now to suddenly be able to talk to the audience about that, right? I mean, is that like what's that like? Are you talking about that? Are you making jokes about it?
Yeah. I did get to tell jokes about being a germaphobe, kinda. It's weird because now that's relatable, and 6 months ago that was not relatable at all. But I've been living that life for a decade, so now all of a sudden it's on par with everyone else.
Okay. And
I can't wait to get back on stage and talk more about it.
Well, I mean, to do that, you need stage time, and you need
True.
to be, yeah. So when can people see you on
That
stage?
is a good question. I don't know. I never know. My last time on stage was 3.5 months ago before this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we'll see how everyone handles things opening slowly, and hopefully people are respectful of new rules and clubs and, audiences and performers, and everyone stays clean and safe, and we can curb the spread of the virus.
That'd be great, but that doesn't mean you're going to get booked to tell jokes.
Okay, that's true.
Yeah, and I wouldn't really call what you do jokes anyway. There's
You're being kind of mean again.
I'm sorry, old habits die hard.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean, back to the rules of being out in the real world. Weren't you going to have a doctor on the show?
I'm actually next week. I was going to go ahead
Cool.
and mention that at the end of the show. Yeah.
All right,
So-
bye, Suze.
All right,
bye,
thanks.
Kyrie.
Thanks
I
for
don't know
coming
which
on.
side you guys are on. Bye.
All right. Thanks, David. So as he mentioned, we do have a doctor coming on next week, emergency department doctor Sarah Medeiros, and she's going to kind of hopefully explain to us maybe some of the things that we have questions on. We've had questions about them. What's okay to do, what's not. Should you wear a mask? Should you not? Like, nobody knows, and so hopefully that's going to be helpful. Yeah, I think that wraps up our show. So thanks to Mean Dave, and big thanks to Punkie Johnson for coming on. If you have time, donate to their Venmo. Thank you, David Shapiro. Thank you to Jesse and Stab for letting us do the show. And we'll see you next week on July 5th with Dr. Sarah Medeiros.